Alex had always hated living alone, but tonight, the silence felt heavier than usual. The hum of the refrigerator was the only sound in the apartment. The clock ticked toward midnight, steady, deliberate, loud enough to sound like a heartbeat. He had been unpacking for days, surrounded by boxes and half-finished cups of coffee. On the shelf near his couch sat a small collection of porcelain human-sized dolls, a gift from the previous tenant who'd moved out, in a hurry. They were old-fashioned, their painted eyes glossy and unblinking. Alex swore he had faced them all toward the wall. But when he glanced up from his laptop, one was turned toward him. He froze. For a second, he just stared at it, trying to remember if he'd moved it earlier. He laughed under his breath, the kind of nervous laugh people use to keep the dark from feeling alive. He got up, turned the doll back toward the wall, and sat down again. A few minutes later, something creaked. A slow, dragging sound. Alex looked up, and his blood ran cold. The doll was now sitting on the coffee table, directly facing him. He blinked. It was closer. His throat tightened. "Okay," he muttered, forcing a grin. "That's not funny." He picked it up with trembling hands and set it back on the shelf. He stood there for a moment, staring, daring it to move again. It didn't. He backed away, step by step, never taking his eyes off it. Then his phone buzzed. Just a notification, but instinctively, he looked down. One blink. That was all it took. The doll was on the floor, inches from his feet. Alex stumbled backward, his breath shaking, eyes wide open until they burned. He could feel them watering, begging for a blink, but he couldn't risk it. Not now. He backed into the hallway mirror, gripping the wall for balance. He blinked, once, painfully fast. When he looked again, the doll wasn't alone. All 6 of them stood in a half-circle around him, their cracked porcelain faces tilted slightly, as if listening. The air in the room felt thick and electric. The clock clicked to midnight. He tried to scream, but the sound never came. His last blink was a long one, too long. When the lights flickered back on, the apartment was still. The dolls were back on the shelf, just as they had been before. All except one. One had new eyes, glossy, wide, and unmistakably human.